Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the RDFL Netball Show. We're back for our 4th edition in season 2016. Great to be joining you once again here on the RDFL website to talk netball on our dedicated netball show. Shaun Kelly's my name. Joining me, as she does every month here on the RDFL Netball Show, is AFL Goldfields netball manager Kim Bailey. Kimmy, welcome back. Great to have the RDFL Netball Show back for another month.
Yeah, so again, we're getting some great feedback, Shawnee. Netball's alive and well in the RDFL. Studio audience here today.
Again?
So we have a couple of young fellas in here, and we've got RDFL royalty at the moment here. We've got young Jack Newett, who was the captain of the under-13 AFL Goldfields team and was best on ground yesterday at the Goldfields.
And we've got another annoying dribbler that's already made an appearance on the RDFL Netball Show this year when he just came in and started talking to us when we were on air during our show out at the Telstra store in Sunbury.
Yeah, he's related to one of us, just not sure which one.
Not related to me, I can give you the tip on that one.
Unless you've got a mystery son somewhere.
Oh, I do get cards on Father's Day, and I don't know who they're addressed from, but we're not going to go into that any further because we've got a big show to talk about. Because there's, especially in the last week, there's been some huge games in the RDFL. Firstly, we'll have a look at the ladder as it sits at the moment. It's up on screen at the moment, and Rupert's Wood sitting pretty on top of the ladder. But then after that, it starts to even out quite interestingly. Obviously, Riddell's Creek sitting just behind them. Melton Centrals have moved up to 3rd, which we'll speak about throughout the show because that's a great effort by the Centrals. And then it gets interesting. Macedon and Romsey in 4th and 5th, and then Diggers Rest in 6th, and Lancefield in 7th, still very much in play for a final spot. It's a pretty good season the way this is working out.
Yeah, it is. And the top 4 in particular have been battling it out. Macedon had a bit of a shock loss. We didn't expect them to lose against Diggers on the weekend, which we'll talk about.
We will.
Centrals have been amazing as well. They've been the quiet achievers of the competition. And Riddell and Rupo have been the two that have really been the top of the pile, really. Yes. So, really interesting weekend. Rupo go into the bye. They have no game this week. So, that'll bring them even points with Riddell. And percentage is going to be vital this season. And as we'll talk about again a little bit later, is that those top teams have been going for the kill because they know that percentage is vital.
They have been indeed. As you can see on the ladder, it falls away a bit after Lancefield, Broadford, Woodend, Heskett, Wallen and Sunbury all having tough seasons so far this year, but still great to see that between those 4 sides, they put together some good quality netball at times during the year.
Oh yeah, look, you know, it's really hard for their young teams. Coaches are really hard to get at the moment, so they need to get some coaches that can bring some players with them.
Yep.
But what I like about these girls, these struggling teams, is that they're all locals.
Yeah.
They're sticking with the kids and
they're
trying
building,
to bring them
they're building
through.
the teams the right way.
Yeah, and we had young Sarah Duff. I saw her play 3/4 for Woodend, and she's going to be great. And Sunbury have got all young kids and Wallen. So, you know, they're really still trying and slugging it out there. So, well done to those teams.
Yeah, well done to all of the teams combined. But we'll get straight into our talking points this week and talk about one of the games you just mentioned, Diggers Rest taking on Macedon. And probably fair to call this one of the upsets of the season so far because as well as Diggers Rest have been going, Macedon have almost been untouchable going into this week and obviously lost to Riddell by just the goal the week before in the grand final rematch and then they were trailed by 6 at half time in this game, Macedon. At 3/4 time they got back in front, they were 3 goals ahead. And then Diggers Rest overran them again in the last quarter to win by 3. Really interesting game of 2 and back and forth netball.
Yeah.
And Diggers Rest really, I think that's shown that if they get in the mix this season, they could be really dangerous.
Yeah, they've been the team that I was most probably, in some ways, I think underachieved when you've seen the players on their list. And I was expecting this type of win somewhere along the line, and they've finally got it. And it's really pleasing to see. Macedon were a little bit undermanned, didn't have 2 of their goalers in, so... Tara Burnett, who's been an absolute sensation this season, and also Chloe Wilson wasn't there either, who's been
just as good.
Yeah, instrumental in their wins. So it was a big out for them. But regardless, not taking anything away from Diggers Rest.
On the court.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, Amy Carroll is a fantastic player. You know, she's back playing VNL as well. She popped up against us last week. When we played
I noticed that.
Yeah, not someone you really want to see popping
really,
up.
No.
Anyway, but Steph Barnes has had a great season. Shelby Strong. Jay Peters has been... You're really... really a player that sneaks under the radar as well. I think she's one of the unsung heroes, really, of that Diggers Rest team. So a great result, and it really sort of secured their spot. They put some 4 points clear of Lancefield, and Lancefield come up against Riddell this week.
Yeah.
So really hard for them. I think Diggers might have Romsey.
Diggers got Melton Central this week, which we'll speak about shortly.
Yeah. So really tough game for them, but. Yeah, congratulations to them. It was a great effort, and I know I spoke to Cara Stewart today. She's really disappointed with the loss, and she was saying to me, "Oh, how do you get over these things?" And netball is so important to all of us, and it's great that she's so passionate and takes it so seriously. I've been there, so I know where she's coming from.
Macedon's 3 losses this year, though, have come by 5 goals on Anzac Day. They've come by against Rupertswood. They've come by a goal against Riddell, and they've come by 3 goals on the weekend against Diggers Rest. So it is. They're heartbreaking losses, but also you look at the other side of the coin, says they're not far away at all, especially against some very good sides.
2 errors. 2 errors that they correct, and they've won the game.
Exactly.
2 or 3 errors. That's how basic it comes down
to.
Get
a turnover, stop a turnover.
Just...
And you're there.
Or put one of the goals in that you missed, So there's stuff that's so fixable. So fixable. So, I think, to tell you the truth, any one of those top 4... can win it. The others, Diggers, Romsey and Lancefield, on a good day most probably, but it's so hard to come from that position and win a grand final. It
is indeed. We'll speak about that very, very shortly, although Romsey did do it a couple of years ago.
Yep, they did.
5th to win a grand final. So
it doesn't happen often, though.
Definitely can be done. Talking point number 2, whilst we're speaking of Romsey, 1 of 3 teams this week to bring up the ton. Some huge score lines in the RDFL this week. Romsey with a 100-goal performance, Riddell with a 100-goal performance, and there's one other one as well. One other, Rupo, of course, against Woodend Heskett with a 100-goal performance. Just some really, really high scoring, and there's been a few throughout the recent weeks as well.
Yeah, there has. And look, it's the top teams, and as we spoke about percentage and how vital it is, they want to get that percentage, and the coaches are aware of it. It's great that we've got these quality players. My concern is, it can be a little bit demoralising for the lower teams. Unfortunately, that's sport, whether we like it or not. But, I had a few people at these games, and the demeanour of the Woodend Heskett girls in particular was fantastic. They played the game right through with spirit. They kept trying and contesting every ball. And from the feedback I got, they were fantastic. And I know that the likes of Wallen, those girls at Wallen, they've had their ups and downs this season, but they've hung in there and they've kept going. And Sunbury Kangaroos, they're so young, and Frances Dunn's done a great job to keep them going. I just need to say to you girls, keep your heads up. But to the other teams, we can't not say it was awesome.
No,
because
that's right. When you see Bet Colwell shooting 78 goals and Hope Evans shooting 75.
So Romsey 102 to Wallen 11. Hope shot 75 from 84 at 90%. Unbelievable. Riddell 111 to 14 against Kangaroos. 78 from 95 at 83% for Bet Colwell. And then Rupo was, I think, 101 to 30, and they shared it around a bit. We've got Stacey Northey, who's come back from injury. She's had a really severe back injury and done a really great job to come back, 56 from 71. And Nat Billings, fancy bringing a player like Nat Billings is, where they just keep coming, Rupertswood. There's strength all over the court. They've got such depth, 33 from 34 at 98%. So, you have to say congratulations to these teams, because it's just an awesome effort for anyone to shoot 100 goals.
Yeah, we do indeed. Some fantastic work going on, and some fantastic big scores by some clubs that we'll speak about later on in this show. And of course, next month as well, we'll probably start to put the blowtorch on 1 or 2. Clubs like Rupertswood, clubs like Riddell, that we've kind of expected this from them, that they'll go through the home and away season and finish in one of the top 2 or top 3 positions. But then the blowtorch really comes on them in the finals, because everyone's expecting them to get to the finals. It's what they do from there, obviously, that makes their mark. And both teams faltered a little bit last year. Of course, Riddell in the end coming along and being able to correct their falter, because they end up winning the premiership and beating the team they faltered against. But as we'll speak about in next month's show, we're going to really put the focus on these sides going into the finals.
So Riddell, they lost 2014 and recovered and won 2015. The team that I think we need to look at is Rupo. To me, this is the team to beat at the moment. I think they've got the depth in there. but they've just got to get over that December hoodoo
Correct.
that they have.
September hoodoo.
They really have faltered when they shouldn't have over the past few years. So I think Di McCormack will be really focused on that. And she's got lots of tricks up her sleeve
Certainly
as well. So yeah, it'll be interesting next time we discuss
it will be.
how it's looking.
Indeed. But before we start looking at this week's games, talking point number 3, our Sunbury Football Social Club Player of the Week award still running throughout the season, and we caught up with the nominees on last month's show. We've got another month's worth of nominees to catch up on some fantastic achievers from throughout the RDFL in the last month who have been our Players of the Week, thanks to the Sunbury Football Social Club.
Yeah, again, thanks to Phil Lithgow and everyone down at the Sunbury Footy Club. It's a great reward. So round 6 went to Tana Burnett from the young gun from Macedon, who had an absolutely sensational game in round 6 and was best on court and shot a heap of goals. Can't remember what the percentages are.
She was right up on the percentages and high number of goals.
This is a girl that could go far with her netball if she really wanted to.
Come to Sovereign Tryouts next year, Tara.
She's welcome. Yeah. Tried to get her once before, we'll try again. Week 7 is one of my favourite players, and I love her. And I've played against her, and I've watched her over the years, and I love her enthusiasm and her commitment to her club. It's Wallens Michelle Millhouse, Millie, as everyone knows her. So she's an absolute rocket ship, and has had a fantastic season and really deserved the award this time.
Well done, Millie. Great effort.
And number 8, wow.
Speaking of great players.
What can you say? She's twice Ryan medalist. She's an absolute sensation and is just having one of the best seasons, is Beck Morabito. So
she hasn't missed a beat since round 8 either.
She has been fantastic. So she's continued on with the great form, and she'll be really pivotal if Centrals want to go forward from here on. Round 9 is one of my umpires from last season who decided to go and play netball.
Oh, nice of her.
And she's a bloody good player as well with that. And that's Annika Shearer from Lansfield. Great defender, great closing speed, is versatile, can go from goal defence to keeper, wing defence, it can even drop her into centre. But lovely player. She plays for Blaze at VNL level as well, and has ripped me apart a couple of times for Sovereign. So a great effort, I think, for Annika.
Well done, Annika.
And round 10 is a young who is still playing 19s and A grade for Sunbury Kangaroos. And she just gets better. She's such a talented girl, can play defence or attack. And although it's been a hard slog, Taylor Setti from the Kangaroos has done a great job. And she's most probably going to be one of the leaders in the future of Kangaroos. So let's hope that she can stay there and keep going forth on them. So that's where we're at. We've got another, how many rounds left?
Still got another 1, 2, 7. Yeah, 7 weeks to go. Obviously not all full rounds, which we'll speak about very shortly, but some big rounds to come. And congratulations, Taylor, as well. Obviously someone that has been fantastic for the Kangaroos all season long, as have all of our Sunbury Football Social Club Players of the Week. Not just deserving of the awards in their week, but they've all been fantastic contributors all season long in the RDFL. Time to talk round 11. Now, we're a bit light on for games this week. Obviously, the byes starting off. The bye rounds are technically rounds 13 and 14, but Wood End Heskett and the Sunbury Kangaroos are having their byes this week, so we won't see them on the court. And, of course, we won't see Rupert's Wood in their A grade this week either. We'll see them in the lower grades up against Rockbank, but in the A grade, they'll have the bye as well, their first one of the season. So only 4 games to speak about. But they're 4 pretty big games as well, starting with what's going to be an absolute ripper here at Arnold's Creek Recreation Reserve between the Melton Centrals and Diggers Rest. Had a look at the Centrals for a bit on the weekend and moved the ball very, very well, even with Mel Laird not in the side against Lansfield on the weekend. And they're going to need to do it this week as well, because as we've spoken about, Diggers Rest really starting to hit form at the moment. And with Amy Carroll in goals, they're not going to find too many harder goals to come up against this year.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Mel will be back this week as well, so that'll
handy.
That'll negate them. Look, having Transform back in has made a massive difference, and her and Beck know where each other are. And Jess May in the centre there. They've been playing together for a long time, and that triangle in the attack end is just really it's silky smooth, as you said. Now, Vanessa Seddon's been a real surprise packet and has worked extremely well with Beck, and that's a great combination.
Very much a holding shooter, so under the ring, and a quick shot. She gets it and it's up straight away. It's a two-hand kind of shot, but defenders can't defend it because she's put it up before they've thought about defending.
It's a really unusual combination, her and Beck, but it works. And
It does.
who cares? If it works,
Exactly
that's fantastic. So, Diggers, look, they've got a great defensive unit as well. Steph Barnes has come over from Romsey this year and she's done really well. Shelby Strong played out at wing attack, and I think that's a really good move for them. And Jade Peters through the midcourt. Accuracy, I think, has cost Diggers a little bit in the ring this year, so they just need to get a bit more accurate underneath there. But I think Centrals are on a roll. I just think they're going to just continue to roll on, and I'm picking them.
And they're in the spot that they want to be at the moment. I dare say Randy Pereira has taken a look at the ladder and said, let Rupert's Wood and Riddell fight it out for the top 2 spots. We're more than happy to sit there in third and just see what the cards bring from there. And if they win this week, it puts them another step closer towards cementing that 3rd spot.
Yep.
So they will be going for the kill this week. Wallen at home this week against Broadford, and both of these sides will look at this game as a real chance to get a victory on the board. For Wallen, it would be their 2nd if they're lucky enough to win it. For Broadford, will be their 3rd for the season.
Yeah, 2 teams that could be quite evenly matched. Beck Hunter's a sensation too. Everything hears as well. They've just had really good seasons. I think they're a better team on paper. When you look at their team on paper, you think they most probably should have won more.
Yep.
But it just attests to the strength of the league, where great teams are still not being able to get over these even awesome teams full of VNL players. I think there was 5 or 6 VNL players that played for Riddell on the weekend.
Yeah.
You know, it's really hard to combat that. Wallen have been struggling. We know that. They got a win a couple of weeks ago. Both teams had relatively large losses. Well, we know Wallen did, but so did. It was a close game with Lansfield, actually, was it?
It was only 42 to 37 or something like that. And it was going end to end, and both teams obviously had some really good shooters at either end in tough conditions. There were a couple of times where the girls had put the ball up and the wind had just blown straight back.
But I think Broadford might get their 4th win of the season.
Yeah, Broadford for me as well. It just seems that when Broadford do play these games, they do seem to be that little bit above.
Yeah.
They won by 40 against Wallen earlier in the year, and did the same with the Sunbury Kangaroos as well.
Yeah, so they've got the manpower there. It's just putting it together against the bigger clubs.
Yeah, Broadford for me in this one. Macedon take on Romsey at the Tony Clark Reserve. This game for me, and I've written this in this week's record, this is a crucial game for both sides because Macedon obviously need to arrest this 2-game slide that they're on at the moment. Whereas for Romsey, this is a chance for them to really put themselves out there and say, we are a contender this year. At the moment, they're sitting in 5th. They've only lost 3 games for the year, but they've been to sides above them on the ladder. If they can beat Macedon on the weekend, all of a sudden they start putting themselves into that conversation for teams that could potentially go deep into the finals. And we know that when Romsey are on song, they are very, very dangerous to beat, especially in the last couple of weeks. With Danny Davidson coming back into that defensive lineup as well.
Danny's been playing the midcourt. I don't know how much Danny.
Don't think she's playing a lot.
No, not playing.
Having her back in there, if they can qualify her.
I think they'll qualify. I think the tall timbers down in attack, Hope and Chelsea Ross has made a big difference. I love the Romsey defensive line as well. My concern is their midcourt. I don't think they need a stronger centre or a wing attack to drive through the midcourt more. I think that's a big effect on them. For Macedon, they'll get their players back this week, and they do not want to drop this one. It's their home game as well. Chelsea Ross is also at uni games, so she'll be playing there all week, so she might be a little bit tired if she does play on Saturday. I'm not sure, but we'll see how it goes. I think Macedon will rebound back though.
Yeah, Macedon will start favourites for mine in this one as well. And then another very interesting game at Lansfield Park this week. Lansfield taking on Riddell. Lansfield weren't that far away against Melton Centrals on the weekend, but Riddell have been almost irrepressible this year, especially in the last few weeks, and such a talented side they've got on the court at any time. Yeah,
and it's what I've said this about Riddell too. They've still got their homegrown kids in there as well. Well, Chris Harris is not a kid, but Chris has had a great season.
Exactly.
Mika Johns has been in great form. Kaylee Armstrong's come back. And even Emma Croft has had a few runs, I think. So they've put those girls in, but then you've got likes of Sarah King in there, Bet Caldwell,
Danielle Wilson, Lauren Close, Alan Close.
And they're just an amazing team. And Lansfield have an array of players, but it's getting them all there at once. Olivia Pall has been fantastic.
She was good again on the weekend, even though defensively Vanessa Seddon got a lot of the ball. Olivia was very, very strong against her and hands over every time and really defending hard.
Yeah, she's a good player. Coached her at Hume as well, so I know how Liv plays, and she can isolate a shooter as well. Whether she can match up against Beck, not sure, but there's not too many players in this league that can match up against Beck. So, and they've had Reese Carter-Coleman, who's come into the Lansfield side and injected some real speed around the court as well.
That's exactly what she did on the weekend. She just worked goal attack really well. She was up and back, second phase every time, going out there, getting the centre pass and just really working hard and getting the ball into the goal very often.
The issue with Reese, because she's only little, you know, if you get a defender who gets those hands over the ball, she's in a bit of trouble. And if Lozzie does play on her, that's what Lozzie will do. So, be interesting. You know, I'd love Lansfield to give them a good run. I think they will, but I can't see them beating them.
Yeah, I'm the same. Look, I was really impressed with what Lansfield did on the weekend, but they just could. They were at arm's length all day against Centrals, but they couldn't get within enough to land that blow.
I know Stacey Gannon's played 1 or 2 games with them. If they could get Stacey back in, that would make a massive difference. But whether they can, I think she might play in the Yarra Valley or somewhere like that. But it'd be great to have someone permanent like that in there, and that would really help them.
Yeah, it would indeed. But for this week, I've got a feeling that the reigning premiers will be a little bit too strong. That is all we've got for this month on the RDFL Netball Show. Going to come back in the start of August with the RDFL Netball Show, and then I reckon we're going to do a couple in September.
Yeah,
I reckon we're going to do one in the first week of the finals, leading into that first week of the finals, and we might have another crack at it, I think, in preliminary final week as well.
Yeah, and get some special guests in for grand final week.
Grand final week as well. We'll have it. We'll have 3 in September. There we go. Rod Ward, you're getting extra value for your money this year. You're getting 2 extra shows for the price of nothing. Extra work for us during grand final week as well. Just what you need. But
oh well. It's always busy.
It's going to be fantastic this year because this is a fantastic RDFL Western Water A-grade season. That is in shape at the moment. Kimmy, thanks for joining us on the RDFL Netball Show this week.
Pleasure to be back and looking forward to a great lead into finals.
And thank you for joining us as well. Once again, on the RDFL Netball Show, we're going to be back first week of August with more from around the netball courts here in the Riddell District Football and Netball League.